What So, welcome everyone to the May 8th Millinocket Events Committee meeting. Just so I know we have some familiar faces, some new faces. I just want to go around the table so everyone has an opportunity to introduce themselves. I will start. I'm Amber Wheaton, Community Initiatives Director for the Town of Millinocket and co-chair of the Events Committee. Also,
Your chair.
I call us co-chairs. I know you're technically, I'm the chair and you're the deputy chair, but Tom does all the presentations.
Melissa for the community. I'm Katie. I work with the Katahdin Chamber.
You're also both committee members.
Committee members, yeah.
Sorry. I didn't bring my coffee, I'm sorry.
Ben Barr.
That's it.
That's
Member of the
enough.
Member of the public.
Enough.
Did you say John? I'm
Nicole Brennan, I'm the Partnerships and Programs Coordinator for the Millinocket Memorial Library, and I'm here as a member of the public.
Robin Stevens, Project Assistant for Thrive Penobscot, but also a member.
I'm Malcolm. I'm the fire chief and co-chair of the committee.
John Cody, the assistant fire chief, and also one of the board members.
And then up to you, Katie.
Hi everyone, Katie Shorey. I'm zooming in from Biddeford and I'm the engagement director for Live and Work in Maine, which I'll tell you about in a little bit.
Thank you so much for joining us, Katie. So just moving on to the agenda, our first item, we have the bike rodeo. We hit a little snag with the date we selected. It's going to be a field day that day for Granite Street. So within discussions, we just wanted to touch base with the committee. Tom, John, and I think John was there. Tom and I definitely went over this. What does everyone think about making the date change to be included within the weekend activities for the 4th of July? So our discussion was July 2nd. It's a Sunday, but there's already families going to be there for the cornhole tournament. We could do it right in Veterans Park. It doesn't interfere with the farmers market on Saturday. Another reason to pick Sunday, but also giving families more draw to the bandstand. There's going to be music down there. So we thought this could really just make the events better.
How are we looking for volunteers that weekend too, though? I mean, I know some people are probably going to be out of town.
Well, for the bike rodeo, it's already established. The volunteers are going to be myself, Tom, John, are you going to be present for the bike rodeo? Bailey in partnership with Katahdin Gear Library, she's going to try to make that work. And really, I don't see how many more volunteers would you think we need? We need people to help us cook that day.
Yeah, we don't need a lot of volunteers. It'll just be what Bailey has for people to help her. That's the biggest part of the thing is the actual system.
So we just re-coordinated with the people who are already on board.
Which if we need the team volunteers, I've already had a couple of them ask me if there's anything.
And that'd be great. They'd be great on the actual course.
If you could ask the teams, that is a great idea. So is the board, I'd like to make a motion to move the bike rodeo to July 2nd.
That's a Friday.
That's Sunday.
That's a Sunday.
And what was the time on that?
We did 10 to 2.
Well, we were going to do 10 to 2, but I think if we're going to do it on July 2nd, yeah.
The afternoon while that's going on, so the same time.
Yeah, what time was the?
It's in the notes.
Yeah.
Borrow yours.
She said that.
Did I not? I didn't put it in the note.
No, but I have it in mind.
Thank you.
No, you have.
Cornhole, it doesn't say the time. Yeah. Cornhole, either 3 to 7 or 6 p.m. That's what it says. It goes to really good note.
Thank goodness for your child. What if we even did like 1 to 4?
1 to 4, I'm thinking that way. We lead up to and go into.
Yeah, and we can have some nice overlap for people who show up early for the event with their children. Do we have a second on that motion?
Yeah, somebody was up in
Oh,
If not, I will. I thought I heard something.
all those in favor?
Yeah.
July 2nd, yep.
No one opposed. Wonderful. Okay. Moving into Live and Work in Maine special presentation. We have Katie Shorey here. She's just going to go over the overview of what that event looks like. So we can really start planning our partnership with them. Thank you, Katie.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. So Live and Work in Maine. Can you all hear me? Okay, first of all. Okay. So Live and Work in Maine, we are a nonprofit organization and we market the state as a great place to live and work. So maybe you've seen some of our marketing campaigns. We have ads in the Jetport. We do marketing campaigns out of state as well. We're in the process of doing a veterans campaign in Texas in partnership with Northern Light to try to get in front of folks there and encourage them to come to Maine when they're done with their service. We have a job board, and our website and newsletters serve as a resource for people who are either in Maine, moved to Maine, or trying to move within Maine. And we realized during the pandemic, especially, there were a lot of people moving to Maine that either had boomeranged back, that had left the state, came back, or they were new to Maine entirely. And they had no real way of making or finding community. And to be very blunt, like to make friends. And as we've learned, yes, having a good job is important. That helps people stay in Maine, but also having a community that they're part of and friends, like helping them find their people, has been critical. And so what we did the past 2 years is we partner with organizations like yours. Also, like when we had an event in Rockland, we partnered with the Penobscot Chamber and Rockland Main Street. And they're the folks on the ground who know the community, who know the businesses. So they help us with a lot of the logistics. But we've been partnering with organizations all across the state to execute these events that we call Welcome Home. And they're for new to Maine people, but they're also for people that have been in the community for a while, that want to welcome new people to the area. The idea is that if you're in Maine now, doesn't matter if you've been here for 20, 30 years, your whole life, or 2 weeks, like welcome home. We want to invite you in. And so we had about 21 of these events last year, from Presque Isle to Skowhegan to Machias. And when Amber reached out about having one in Millinocket, I thought that was a great idea. And so to paint the picture of what this is, essentially, we host these all across the state, and we're just a team of 3. 2.5 really. So we can't be everywhere. So we really rely on the team on the ground to help us with some of the details, but we market the event because we have sort of like a branding, all the graphics, we deal with the RSVPs, we try to get the word out the best we can, but then we rely on you all to reach out to local businesses, local organizations, maybe there's Facebook groups, and say, hey, this is an event that's free, that's open to the public. Come out, meet new friends, just to mix and mingle in the community. And then we also rely on you to find a location. And depending on what the vibe of the event is, we can throw a few $100s toward the event. I don't know if your organizations have any cash for these kinds of things, but we've had an event in a field and brought in some beer and wine and some snacks. That I wouldn't recommend that route because it was a little sketchy in the sense of it was very windy and stuff was blowing everywhere. But we've also had an event at a university. We had an event at the in the lobby of a hotel. We've had an event in the lobby of a movie theater. So we get really creative with the space. We just want to find a place that we can drive people in so they can mix and mingle and have intentional collisions. And then we bring a bunch of Live and Work in Maine swag. I wore the wrong sweatshirt, but usually we have, Live and Work in Maine t-shirts we give out for free. And sometimes people donate the space for free. Sometimes we can get alcohol or food donated at a pretty, or either in kind to get, or there can be a sponsor. So it's really, I need your help with those kinds of logistics. But if we found a location and then picked a date, we can run with it. We have probably 6 or 7 other of these in the works right now. So I hope I painted a clear picture of that. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's really the pitch, the spiel. We would love to add Millinocket to the list this year.
You guys have questions? No, Tom's
I'm
thinking.
looking at Tom.
So Katie, what happens at this event? I mean,
So really, we invite people in. We market it as a community event. It's very casual. It's very social. Sometimes luring them with saying, you'll get a free drink ticket or you get a free t-shirt, gets them in the door. And then at some point when we feel like we have the most people in the room, we get up. So let's say there's a few resources in the room, Live Work Maine, any of the ongoing initiatives that maybe that you wanted to let the community know about. I would get up. Sometimes I stand on a chair. Sometimes I just yell into the crowd and we just say, hey, we're Live and Work in Maine. This is the type of resources that we offer. Really just trying to get people jazzed up and excited about living and working in Maine and being part of this kind of like new wave, this new energy that we have in state. And then I would pass it over to you all to say, this is what we do within our organization, any organization that you might want to highlight or an effort that's ongoing. It's a way to just let people know what's kind of going on in the community. But to be clear, it's very casual and it's more of just getting the community together. If there's something that you maybe wanted to make, we did have one event where I'm trying to remember. We had an event at the Rue Institute in July, and we partnered with the Department of Education because they were just trying to recruit some teachers and get in front of a different audience. So that one kind of had a theme. And then we have one in Damariscotta in June, and we're having a pickleball lesson. So we're going to have people come together, play pickleball, and then have some snacks and stuff, and then mix and mingle. So that one actually is centered around an activity, but that's kind of new. Like that's not our business, but we have people that are there on the ground that say, okay, we want to do this. We're going to organize everything. You guys just show up. And I'm like, okay, we will market it and we'll just show up. So it's really a matter of what you want to do. And if you are open to just having, I don't know if you host events like this anyway, like a typical, like Bangor, like the Fusion group in Bangor, the young professionals group, they have every month they have an event focused on young professionals. So when we partner with Fusion, we usually just lob on to their already existing event. And then we just call that a welcome home as well. So we're open to whatever.
And for everyone, Tom is aware and myself, and I mentioned this to Katie, really what sparked part of this conversation was also conversations coming from like the planning board and just really trying to bring as many people to the table. We can bring real estate agents to the table. We should be connecting with the Chamber of Commerce, local businesses, and giving them the opportunity to really just get their face out there and greet people. We have new people coming all the time, and we have people looking at Millinocket regularly, especially with the excitement surrounding One North. So this is a really exciting opportunity, and I think now would be the time to do it.
And I'll just add, I think the hard part, you're absolutely right. And you'll know all the business folks. I'm sure if you reach out to planning board, reach out to real estate agents, reach out to the chamber, they'll come. The hard part is getting the random folks that live there now, that maybe found their way there, that moved to the Millinocket area over the last few years, getting them to come to the event. Like I'm thinking of a few friends that I have from DC that now live in Millinocket, and I'm like, okay, how do we get in front of them? They're young, 30, 35-year-olds. Like, how do we get them to come out? So that is the tricky part. We can do Facebook ads. It's a lot of word of mouth. Sometimes I remember, it's calling the gyms, it's calling the places and saying, hey, can you promote this event for us? Because we're trying to get in front of the people that might want to come. So that's where we need your help.
Cool. Yeah. Do we have any other questions while we have Katie on the call? I do want to be respectful of her time.
And you can noodle on like the date. I know you, Amber, I know you and I, we threw around some ideas, but of course, it really, I think comes down to like, if you find a venue or what the venue would be, and if that they have availability. So nothing's set in stone. We don't have anything. I have one event that I'm planning in Boston sometime in the fall. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in October. So there's no conflicts as of yet. So if you and I want to go back and forth on that, I'm open to dates and timing.
Cool, so then what, we can noodle it as a committee, and then I'll shoot you an email, Katie, and get back to you on what we're all thinking and what your availability looks like during those times.
That sounds great. And like I said, I think, again, last thing I'll say is, of course, like the fall is beautiful, but you wanted to like do a winter event and get in front of folks that might be up visiting during the, like we are all ears, whatever you think might work best for timing. So I appreciate you letting me zoom in and chat with you all for a few minutes. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Bye.
Bye. Does anyone have any thoughts on this? We can bring it up in the next meeting and start planning after everyone has time to digest.
What are you thinking?
I got all kinds of
I was gonna
thoughts
say, your wheels have been turning, yeah.
on do something over to the creative playground.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, who were you thinking that this would be geared at? Young families?
So young families, that's
Okay.
what
Alright.
we're looking at, a workforce moving to Millinocket. So that's what the focus would be, is workforce age and just anyone. It doesn't have to be families, but anyone within the
nobody,
workforce.
yeah.
Yeah, moving
Yeah.
here and making them feel welcome. People who, like she said, have been here that don't have that sense of community.
I was
Just
gonna say, there are
trying to
people that have
establish that.
moved to the area and have been here for a year, but still, I mean, it is a very tight-knit community and sometimes it's hard to break in.
I'm still having a hard time, and I've been here for 14 years,
And
so.
So, I mean, I think it's a great idea to have it open for definitely people that have moved to the area recently to showcase what Millinocket does offer for everybody.
As a committee, do we feel like this would be a good event for us to lean into and host?
Excellent
Yeah.
opportunity. I think it's an
Yeah.
opportunity
Do they,
for us to get a lot of people, chamber, Arcadon.
other question is, do they promote just like in the Millinocket region, or are they going to like promote us on their?
Oh, we'll be on their website.
Okay.
They have a huge social media reach.
Okay.
They also send those materials out to people. So if you go to the Live and Work in Maine website, they do have like a job board. Once we do this program with them, we could send them jobs as one of their communities that they would post right there. And I mean, that's anyone from Millinocket could send them jobs that they'll post. They advertise, they really hype up the different communities that have done this. So that way, that's the first thing you see. When you research moving to Maine and you find Live and Work in Maine, you see all these great communities that are vested in connecting with new
Well,
community members.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that we were also showcased as a town, so that way people were like, you know, maybe looking at moving into Maine would
Yeah.
see Millinocket as a town as well.
I believe she mentioned that they're advertising in Texas, and I had just seen this like thing on Reddit where they were talking about that. What they're doing is they're trying to get service members who might be close to retirement de-enlisting. I don't know what that means. And looking for their next steps, and they're actively like targeting them as, you know, do you want something different? Maine is here. We're looking for a workforce. We're looking for families. So it's interesting. I didn't realize it was her organization, but I saw that just this morning. So
Yeah. So it's exciting stuff. So let's, in the next 2 weeks, just really think about what that could look like for us and bring the ideas to the table. In the meantime, with the committee's approval, I'll reach out to just different organizations, say, hey, this is what the Millinocket Events Committee is thinking of doing. We'd really love to have you on board. Date, time to be announced.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? In what areas do you want to engage with us on that? Tom and I will work on that list together, right? I volunteered it, but
What time of it, like what season are you guys leaning towards?
I think August. So normally, and Katie and I
was
spoke
gonna
about
say
this
that.
in email. Normally they would take a vacation in August. However, if that's when we want to do the event, they will put our event
I
on
was
in
thinking
August.
August
I
as
think
well.
August, because that's when we get the highest traffic visitors. That tends to be, so if we're somewhere visible, that also can entice people to come.
Okay, that's another. You could see Randy moving his tent.
In that green
Something
space,
they did,
Upstairs in
real
the-
Carol Green
like we did for
space.
our community resilience
Right.
party.
Yeah.
I think that would be
because
amazing.
That's gonna get people coming and going as
Seeing
well.
what's going on.
Yeah, and just really engaging them. I think August would be the perfect time of year, for me personally.
I think so. A lot of people are
I just
coming
was
back
curious
from
what time of year you
vacations and-
were leaning for.
That's perfect. Does the committee feel like August, if we can give people a time frame that we're more likely to get buy-in from other organizations as well? Do we want to shoot with that time frame? And I can check with Katie if August, they can still commit to August?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because I think the sooner we have a date and the sooner we can promote it, the better.
100%.
I don't really think there's too much going on in August either, so people may be more.
I'm thinking, for me, I mean, we're really, really busy up to Baxter in
Yeah.
August because it's vacation time
Well,
and that's,
Mhm.
you know,
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of people coming
Visiting.
anyway.
Yeah.
it's
And
like the last thing to do before school starts.
How much time will she actually be on the ground here?
She would just be here that day.
For the whole day?
Yes.
So
And
So
so it costs us nothing to have them brought on.
whatever programs we decide to do, she'll be.
Yeah, and I think that's an excellent opportunity for the hospital,
Mhm.
alumni, chamber to promote what's going on.
Yeah,
I know Octagonville.
yeah, and I mean, we're really just a facilitator of a great
Yeah.
event for community organizations.
And I think, yeah, I think before we, I think you bringing it up to her about August, so we're mindful of their vacations as well.
Yeah.
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 So that's where we'll start. Do we have any other thoughts on the Live and Work in Maine special presentation before moving on to the big fun one?
Did you decide where we'd be meeting? Did you say a green space?
Well,
Pointed that
well, I
way.
was thinking about doing it over to the athletic complex and getting the tents from the chamber, putting those together over there. But then they rang a bell when they said about traffic, and I'm thinking the green space
Then you're taking them away from downtown.
with Randy's
too.
big tent.
It's easier to
It's
see
downtown,
than-
it's easy
Yeah.
to see, people see it
People
going by.
Yeah, people are gonna drive by that more than the.
Playground.
And that
the
forces
only
them,
thing I
if
was
we
thinking.
start it downtown, it forces or encourages people to go downtown.
Yeah.
Explore this place.
Where's parking for that? Just along Main Street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that,
It depends on what day we do it. You probably park across the street at the bank. The
yeah.
old, the old Bangor Savings Bank. There's parking down there. Next between the fire station. and Cotton and-
People, I mean, it's gonna be August, so it'll be pretty, so I'm sure people wouldn't mind walking a little bit too.
Yeah.
I mean,
People can park here behind the municipal building and
Oh,
park
yeah.
or across the street.
Yeah, across the street, yeah. Plus that leaves open like the cafe, the bakery, Ruthie's, Baby Ruthie's, like all of those.
they usually do do they do them on weekends? Is that when they try?
I've seen them during the week and I've seen them on weekends. I know, my friend just attended the one in Bucksport they hosted last month at the Alamo Theater and it was very well attended. That was on a Thursday night as like a social, just a community welcome home social.
I was gonna say, I think a weekday would almost be the best opportunity because,
If we got it early enough, so
Yeah.
you got, we got a decent amount of.
just because, I think in the summertime, people a lot of times save up their weekends to go
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Very true.
Awesome. Awesome, guys. Any other thoughts? Okay, moving on to the events committee scholarship. So we received 4 applications. I emailed them to committee members. I have provided everyone a copy in their packet. So for those of you who don't know, the events committee established a scholarship in partnership with Vista Brothers Brewing. This year, we are offering 2 $500 scholarships to students, for students who are joining the military, going to secondary education, maybe going to vocational school or starting a family business. And they just had to talk to us about community service and demonstrate what types of community service they've done. So within our 4 applications, I'll just go around and we'll read through them. And then, the first thing that all scholarships are asked to consider is, do we have anyone on the board whose child has applied? And then extend that further into the town of Millinocket, which we do have an applicant who has family. So those typically are given preference. But we'll read through and just kind of as a board, as this is a board decision, make our recommendations, and then we will send our 2 choices in an order for the council to accept this week before we can give them the funds. So I will start. I will go ahead and read the longest one, so that way I don't put that on everyone. One of them is 2 pages. Which one?
I only got one of those 2 pages.
Nope. The minor, yours are all stapled. You should have 4. It's front and back. Oh, I'll read hers because I have it, so it doesn't matter. I didn't photocopy the front and back.
I get shots and I'm like, it doesn't,
That's my fault, guys, sorry. Thank you. I'll read Rhiannon. So this is from Rhiannon Gardner.
That's funny because I have the whole thing.
No, turn it over.
Oh, yeah.
Take optimism.
Letters of recommendation.
Sasha.
So for Rhiannon, I have lived in Millinocket my whole life, which is about 18 years. Throughout these years, I've been given the opportunity to see what a real community is, and it is truly amazing. We all contribute to this community, which brings everyone together and makes everyone feel like family. I have been volunteering and helping out with activities that make it possible for people in and out of Millinocket area to enjoy this place we call home. Football games and sports events are some of the main entertainment events that people like to attend. I have been helping people from our school over these past few years so people are able to enjoy these events and have fun. During my junior year, I helped clean up the football field before the first home game. We cleaned up trash, raked sticks and leaves, and repainted team benches. This may not seem like a lot, but it definitely made the field feel cleaner and be in better shape. We also spend time as a team after practice to clean up our softball field before the season begins. We lay down new dirt and pick weeds out of our infield. In recent years, we have helped with painting the dugouts. I've also helped with smaller events that take place at our school. During these, we have multiple people getting stuff prepped or cleaned up for special occasions. Our basketball team had to do admissions for middle school games in order for our team to get matching shoes. We were able to fundraise for our team and be supportive role models for the middle school teams. We have been able to fundraise a lot of these past years for our graduating class as well. We have been doing bottle drives every few months since we were in middle school. Our junior year, we had to put the high school prom together and buy all the supplies, so it is definitely helpful when people support us so that we are able to enjoy these events. The last thing that I would like to mention that makes everyone come together as a community is sports events. Now, this isn't so much of a community service deed, however, everyone feels so involved and excited when sports events take place. For instance, since Skate and Stearns have combined most of their athletics, and I think this definitely brings everyone together. In 2022, our girls varsity basketball team won the Northern Maine Class C championship, and it brought something exciting to our town and school. It was a very special moment, and so many people had come to support us and supported us from their homes. All of these small deeds help our community come together and ensure we keep traditions around. We are able to give back to our school and community, and the people who enjoy all these events we help make happen. That is Rhiannon Gardner. Next, if we can review Victoria Blanchett. Does anyone else like to read, or would you like me to just keep reading them? I have no problem doing so. Okay. Victoria Blanchett, hers looks like this. Because her name, I don't believe on the front of it. I was born and raised in Millinocket and am proud of it. For the past 18 years, I've attended numerous events this town has put on, and as I've gotten older, I've started volunteering at these events. As early as middle school, I have been a volunteer at events happening at Stearns High School. As a member of Unified Performing Arts, I have been volunteering at numerous festivals that our school has hosted throughout the years. Meeting new people and welcoming them to our school and town has always been a very rewarding experience. I have always loved this town and want to give back and volunteer in any way possible. One way I like to do so is to spend time with the kids of this town. For years, I volunteered as a dance teacher assistant at Studio One Dance Center, and now as a senior, I'm a part-time dance teacher. I've been a volunteer at Field Day and helped assist Unified Harmony Junior High show choir for many years. I think that one way to help this town and community thrive is to keep the kids involved and give them opportunity to participate in these events or participate in activities they enjoy. Sorry, I changed your wording. I'm very proud of my hometown and love the time I've spent here. My hope is that I'll be able to visit home from college often and be able to volunteer and help in community activities as much as I can. That was Victoria Blanchard. Next, I will read Jack Morris. The Town of Millinocket Events Committee Scholarship Fund, he titled his. My name is Jack Morris, and I believe I've made a significant impact in the community of Millinocket through volunteer work with Millinocket Little League, Little Giants football, youth flag football, and middle school basketball. For many years, I have dedicated my time and efforts to support the growth and development of young athletes in the area. My passion for sports and love of the community is evident in these countless hours I've spent volunteering with the Millinocket Little League and these organizations above. As a coach and mentor, I've played a vital role in helping young athletes learn the fundamentals of the game, develop their skills, and grow as individuals. I have also tried my best to be someone for these kids to look up to and understand the importance of dedication and hard work. Some examples of my volunteer work are this year I will be helping Marty Legassi coach the Blue Jays Little League team. I and my friend Caleb Shearer coach flag football teams under Dave Mishu every Tuesday and Thursday night during our football season after practice. I have helped develop a few of the players of Pat Mooney's middle school basketball team. I have helped several Little Giants football camps. Not only am I a volunteer on the field, but I also am off the field from doing community projects with my pastor, Ian Shearer. These community projects involve cutting and distribution of wood at Katahdin Christian Academy, building a swing set at Faith Baptist Church, helping several elders move out of their home into a nursing home or a place like Terre Haute, shoveling snow off church roofs, and several more. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your day reading this. That is Jack Morris. And last but not least is Sydney Campbell. Growing up in the beautiful small town of Millinocket, I've learned that being involved is very important and rewarding. I started volunteering when I was in 6th grade, and it opened my eyes up to how exciting it is not only to help others, but how much hard work would forever make a difference in my life. I started my volunteer work at Little Pro Basketball at the concession stand. I ran the cash box and got the different foods wanted from lollipops to hot dogs. This amazing experience and opportunity took off, and I was able to accumulate 27 hours of volunteer work. I fell in love with the concession stand jobs because I later was able to volunteer watching I missed a spot. I'm sorry, guys. I was able to volunteer countless hours of the Little League baseball games. This was by far my favorite volunteer work. I loved watching the little kids who were too young to play in the league play their own game of catch and later on come see me to get a bottle of water or soda. When it came time for me to go help out in the stand, I remember being so excited to see who my first customer was going to be. All of this made it so easy to say yes when I was asked to spend a few hours helping out with the Little Giants football concessions. I may have only spent 4 hours helping to clean up and cook all the different foods, but it made a huge difference in my life and gave me one last good volunteer experience, at least for now. I will be back in hopes to help out again someday. Those are our 4 scholarships. Any committee discussion? Seeing none. Any comments from the public?
You only have 2 to give out? They're all
I
4
know,
great.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
So, the one that has family within the town of Millinocket is Sydney Campbell. And my recommendations to, after reviewing all 4, and everyone on the committee, I hope you guys had time to read them beforehand. My 2 that I am recommending are Sydney Campbell and Jack Morris.
Those were the ones
Those
Yep,
are the
me
2
too.
that I thought.
Okay, so then I will make a motion to award Jack Morris and Sydney Campbell the Town of Millinocket Events Committee Scholarship. Do I have a second? All those in favor? And anyone opposed? Nope. Awesome. Well, that went fast. So then once the council approves that, I'll get that order in for this week. we can announce it to the school formally on Monday. Now, congratulations, Jack and Sydney. If you watch this, we are very excited. And all four are I will say, they were all very deserving, and we're very lucky that we have so many children who want to volunteer their time in Millinocket. And hopefully this inspires kids to continue just doing good things for their community, because good hard work pays off. Yes, Miss Kitty.
Have you noticed the new sign? It's just been
At the high
installed down
school,
in the
the
high
high
school. This would be a good place to
Yeah.
put this up.
Yes, to announce
Have
their
to go
names.
through them.
Yep.
Somebody on
Although
behalf
they're
of
gonna
all the
announce
people
it
that are.
to-
And I'm told it'll get done immediately, you know.
They've done that with advertising for movies. They've started using it to advertise for movies for us.
I
So
just thought-
that's a great
saw it
idea.
the other-
awesome. Do we have
That,
any?
that thing was bought by a family of people from Millinocket. They lived here forever. This man and woman were married and died with no children and nothing. And they sent a check to Millinocket and it ended up with me. And almost $20,000.
Wow.
15 to 20, I don't remember. But then they collaborated, some of the other places we were gonna split it. And they decided on this one thing and did it, and I thought, oh my God, we've come to, I mean, it was wonderful.
It looks
They
fantastic.
could
Yeah,
get
they look really
together
nice,
and
yeah.
do some.
They had it up in 2 days.
Huh?
Mm,
Had that in like 2 days.
Do we have
They
any
had it
other?
up, they set it up like within 2 days.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was-
I don't
yeah.
know, but once it was decided what they wanted, and we had nothing to do with that, we just put the money up there. And
It looks great. Do we have any other thoughts on the events committee scholarship?
So we're not gonna announce that. We're gonna let it be announced at scholarship night, right?
Yes, no, I'm not gonna
Okay.
post anything. I'm gonna
No.
give them that. It is public knowledge because we're a public entity
Right.
in the council.
I mean,
It's-
anybody who listens to the council meeting, they'll hear it. but-
Right.
But I mean, we're not gonna,
No, I'm not, when we set this up, we gave the funding to the school. We'll continue to give it to
Usually
the
they're not
school,
announced before awards night.
but we'll
They
let
don't
them
tell
take
the-
it from there.
They don't tell the students before awards night? Oh, I didn't know that.
Nice surprise.
yeah, they try to. I mean, a lot of them are, they,
Yeah, a lot of them know, but it's still, it's a
Not
nice surprise, yeah. Some of the parents don't know which scholarships their kids are getting, so it's a nice surprise for the parents too.
Any other scholarship comments, questions, concerns? Awesome. Moving on to 4th of July celebration. We really need to start thinking about finalizing the order of events. Melissa, do you have your Wolfie Pie ready for all of us to review?
It's not finished because we had a family thing come up
Okay.
that distracted me, but I can get it to you by the end of the night.
Can you get it so we can review it and approve it by the May?
Oh, yeah. Next meeting?
22nd
Yeah.
Meeting, I think it is. I don't know if that's.
Yeah,
is that
it's
our
the
next meeting?
22nd. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Almost done with it, so I did get a good portion of it done, but still.
that's the last event we need to approve and finalize. Our vendor application will be sent I put it in to submit to the council for this week's meeting. Once approved, we can start having vendors apply. So they just have to go over that as a formality and accept our recommendation. And then, we also agreed that we would go over parade themes at this meeting. We need to select a parade theme. Does anyone have any options? I like Tom's suggestion.
What was that?
I'll let him announce it. He hates mine. Hometown Heroes is Tom's. Mine was Rocking It in Millinocket, and he laughed at me. Everyone loves a Hometown Heroes
Yes.
parade, so I get it. Do we have any, that was your suggestion. I didn't make it up, okay. Does anyone have any other suggestions of themes?
Only, mine was very similar. It was like Millinocket through the years. So,
Yeah.
but that's very similar to
Yeah.
Hometown Heroes, so.
we'll do a nod, we'll ask that people in participation do a nod to our like local servicemen and women, in whatever field that may be, whether that's a branch of the military, the fire department, police department, nurses, I mean. Anyone can be your hometown hero.
Sure.
Cool, so I make a motion to make hometown heroes our theme for our parade.
Yep.
All those in favor? Boom. Awesome job, guys. Any other thoughts on the 4th of July? Oh, I'm sorry. We have another thing to vote on. I did receive a quote from Design Lab, like I promised all of you, to do 30 of the big posters printed, to put those strategically around town. We can even extend those into East Millinocket, Medway, Lincoln. But for 30 of those posters for the 4th of July events, it would cost us $50. Do we think 30 would suffice? Do we think we need more?
When you say big posters, do you
How
mean
big?
like,
They're like the large.
Okay.
okay,
Like
not
heavy-
like, not
heavy
like
ones.
lawn signs, these are like.
No.
actual-
No, just like the heavy duty, not that big. No, have you guys ever seen the Trails End posters?
Yeah, okay.
They're the
Oh,
same
okay.
ones, just on that heavy duty paper. They're attractive, they draw attention, and especially placing them along where we're gonna have a weekend full of events, this can help other people plan to come to the area. But I thought 30, we usually get about 100 for Trails End, but we drive from the top of Maine to,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think 30 would be.
I think 30
sufficient.
could cover the town, I
Yeah.
thought, but I wanted your thoughts, and then if we're okay spending the $50.
I think it would cover this area and like you said, Lincoln and maybe, head up towards Patton or something like
Yeah,
that. you know?
exactly. So, I make a motion to purchase 30 large advertising posters for the 4th of July.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Miss
That's
Kitty.
plenty.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Wonderful. Do we have any other updates, thoughts, comments, questions on the 4th of July celebration? I think it's shaping up really great, guys.
No, but now that we have our theme, I will call the nursing home.
Thank you. I appreciate you leading on that.
I will call and talk to Tina this week and let her know. I know she said the residents were already excited about getting their float out. And
Good.
we have some,
Can you, speaking of that, will you mention that to the other organizations that said they would participate, and just let them know? Go back to that list, and just let them know we have selected a theme.
What's with the dog parade?
Thank you. Thank you for helping my mind. So it was brought up in the last meeting. Tom's been waiting for this. It was suggested in the last meeting to bring back the puppy parade, where children walked their puppies in the parade. I wasn't a resident here, so I'm not sure how that worked, but so it was suggested, is that something we want to do? Could we logistically do it, Tom? If we can't put it in the current parade, how would we make that happen?
We can logistically do it. The problem that we had with it was you have a lot of noise. Sirens, air horns. And we had dogs taking off. So
Was it already discussed? I thought in the past there used to be like a kids parade beforehand. Could
we
you do
used to do a
it
kids
beforehand?
parade before. We've done a kids parade a couple of ways. We did it for the parade and we did it into the parade. I don't like mixing it into the parade. It makes it.
what about
A
if we
little
do
difficult.
it third going down to the mac and cheese?
Or we could actually do it. We could actually, if
They could
Or
start the
sometime
parade.
on the third, yeah.
they could. I'm thinking if we're gonna do that, put them out early.
Send
put
them
them out,
first to
okay?
lead the parade.
Now, maybe have them, if we have enough volunteers, because when we used to do our bike rodeo, our bike helmets. You can remember, we used to do it, we would have them lead from, what was Key Bank, that's Bangor Savings now. We would have them line up in there and then pull them out as the parade come down.
How much interest do we think we have in it? And then also the liability, is there any liability on the town?
No,
If something were to like a dog were to bite somebody?
no.
Okay,
Dogs, they still have to be on a leash
Yeah.
and license, so.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure if
Yeah.
there was an issue with the dog or if the dog got loose,
You
and,
know,
you know,
my thoughts there, if we're gonna do that, we would have another cruiser available. And have them probably when they come across, when the parade cruiser comes across the bridge, have the other cruiser head out with kids. And I would make it, pets or
Yeah,
bikes
any
or anything. they
kids,
want,
we'll just call
yeah,
it the kids
Kids
parade,
kids parade.
And
Nothing
they can-
motorized,
nothing motorized,
but add that too.
and they can bring puppies or
Lizards,
pets, how about bring pets?
dogs.
So if the
Bike.
kids are going to bring their dog or their pet,
Scooters.
should they have an adult parent? Or
I think
to help them?
I would hope, I think we should put it in there that there has to be. a
That's what I
dog
meant.
with the
Sometimes
animal.
like,
And we'll just state
Sometimes
every
you have
child
to
needs to
state.
be accompanied by an adult.
I just don't,
And you might
You
not
wanna
get
do
as
that
many.
because I'm just gonna play devil advocate here.
Well-
okay? If you do that, you're gonna have some kids that wanna be in the bike parade
They can't.
and they can't because the parent won't do it.
Yeah.
Well,
and
and
I was
their
just thinking,
parents
the
have to be at
parent
the
might not
end.
want to. What about
The
the
parents gotta pick them up.
parents have to be at the end.
Parents
in order
responsible,
to- yeah.
well, my thing is with the pet thing. I
Well,
think if you're
pet.
gonna have,
Yeah, that's
if
what
you're
I
gonna
was
have a
thinking.
dog, you should have your
Not-
parent there with you. I
Not the
don't,
bikes.
I don't-
Yeah.
and so I think, maybe wording, if you decide to have your animal with you, an adult presence has to be there, just in case. We don't want somebody coming from their home and bringing their family pet and we don't realize it.
Kind of what I know. Thank you.
What I can do is I will, Jess Massey's really creative with coming up with wording. So I'll pick her brain. I'm gonna see her Wednesday and they're making the flyers and posters and communication. So I will kind of ask their opinion and for advice on to properly communicate that, and then we'll take a vote on it in the next meeting. How does that sound for everyone? Because I don't disagree. I do feel that a parent should be present, to help them, but I also don't want to dissuade a child because their
Right.
parent can't leave the house
It's
or,
working or.
right,
Right.
we can't even guarantee a parent would pick them
Or
up,
a
and that's
parent
just not really fair in my eyes.
Walk in the.
Well, and
Um,
I'm not meaning just like the
yes.
biking part of it. I don't mind the biking or walking. I'm just thinking if there's gonna be, if you're gonna have your animal with you. Yeah, that's only, yeah.
So I'll pick their brain on just like a good way to, and I'll also pick Peter's brain on a good way to navigate that.
Well, I was thinking in case, what happens if the dog gets spooked or something, they need somebody else to help them control.
What about also an age limit, like kids 10 and under need to have their, I mean, like if I had a 14-year-old that wanted to, I don't
Right.
think a parent needs to
No,
be,
no,
you
yeah.
know.
I agree with the age, yeah.
And,
That makes sense, Rob.
they gotta wear a bike helmet, just state law, anyway.
Which we have just had the bike rodeo before.
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say.
we-
Everyone should have a brand new helmet from 2 days before. Good catch, Katie. Okay, so let's all noodle it. I'll pick Jess's brain and see if there's a way she can help me navigate, like wording, kids under 10, even if it's simple as we recommend being accompanied by an adult if you're under the age of 10. But I really just don't want to dissuade children or tell them that they can't participate.
Most of the kids that you get, or in the past, most of the kids that we've got have parents with them. But you all know this community now, and there are some kids that their parents just won't do it. So, and I don't want to see them left out because,
You have people that might fill in for a parent.
well, we'll have some volunteers there.
Volunteers.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. That would be a good thing.
Some teams.
Sit there and volunteer or walk with one of the
High
kids.
high
Yeah.
school kids.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, and that's all,
We,
I know there's a bunch of kids right now looking for time. You see.
I'm wondering if there's a way that we can volunteers teen volunteers or anybody. Have a sign up day or something.
The 4th of July volunteer sign up.
Yeah,
no
that
matter-
way they can
I
all
can have
come
that
in
done at
and we can figure out what they want to volunteer for or where we
Yep.
still need the volunteers for.
Yeah,
That
that's
way
a
the
great
other day,
idea.
yeah.
Maybe even make an announcement at the high school.
Yeah.
Well, that I
Yeah.
can have like a really attractive poster designed by Design Lab, and then what I'll do is I will bring it to the school. And to the back door.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. And I know I've been practicing my Google Docs for the teens because they would prefer I send them a Google Doc.
Yep.
So then we can always send that to them then to sign up themselves, just to include them and give them that empowerment to like pick what they're volunteering for. Do we want to head that direction? Cool.
And we need somebody to volunteer to head that up down at Bangor City. I don't know.
Yes. We do need a lead for the puppy parade.
You'll have
Do we have any takers sitting at this table right now?
What day is that, the 4th itself?
The 4th itself.
I'll be in the park.
I know you can't be in the
Noises,
parade, it's not a big
so.
deal.
But I could be a meetup person down there
Yes.
too. At the park, so
That might be,
I can be stationed down there.
we'll keep thinking about it. If we can
Mhm.
find someone who might want to take the lead on this, maybe a responsible teenager.
or maybe.
Maybe Bailey.
Maybe Bailey.
So busy this summer.
It's a lot of maybe Baileys. Poor Bailey. She's not here, but she's the best.
I'm gonna clue her and she better start coming to these.
Yeah, I know she intends to every time. It's just so hard.
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
So, you're looking at the schedule. Are we planning on doing anything on
No, nothing from the committee on the 1st.
the second? We're gonna
Bike rodeo. The 3rd, we'll do the mac and cheese off and the fireworks with the DJ. The 4th, we will have Frank DJ downtown. We'll have a vendor fair. And we'll have the parade and a whoopie pie competition once Melissa gets that done.
the second we would
That's kind of where I've been getting a little bit stuck, is have most of it, are we putting should we put stipulations on it? How many do they need to bring in? I think is gonna be the biggest question. Because it's easy to say, like, looking back at what Jesse had done for the mac and cheese, it's easy to say, bring in, this size crock pot.
Well,
But
They can bring 4 whoopie pies, or 3 whoopie pies, one for each judge. Or,
Is there a tasting for this one?
we're gonna take, I would.
this is Melissa's
that was my
project.
question.
yeah,
I'm thinking, you're gonna cut it into little pieces.
You can cut them in a quarter, like,
well, they can,
and they're still,
yeah, and I know Ghost has been helping me with it too, but Ghost's idea was bring in one and we can cut it for the judges. And then bring in a tray for the public.
Right, but we're not gonna give them the whole wood. It just,
You could
you
cut
do
the
it.
public
You-
too.
you
Yeah.
handle it.
But
You lay
I
out
was
a
on the
brainstorm
ball and then,
Yeah, you handle it.
and then give us
I'm
a
asking too many
recommendation.
questions.
well, I just,
no, because you're making me think.
I have one question though. The mac and cheese and the chili, they don't get like a full bowl. They get like
Oh,
a
they
little
get a
tasty.
little
So
bit.
it's like a small
Yeah.
part of a,
So it would be too hard to sit and cut the whoopie pies.
If you
into
cut them into
little
quarters, I mean,
pieces.
it's still.
Yeah,
if
it's still a
good
lot.
whoopie pie, quarter is.
Well, I was gonna say, you could have like
yeah.
8 or 10 whoopie
Quarter of a
pies, and
whoopie
I mean, that
pie
would.
is a lot.
But, I mean, most people bake in,
A dozen.
like a dozen.
A
at
dozen,
a time.
yeah.
So, I mean, even if you ask for a dozen, if there's extra, it's not
They're
gonna be
already
end of the
gonna
world.
taste.
And then
Well,
the
the
only thing
judges
I
taste, but
going
then
to
they
have them
open to the public and then
Yes.
afterwards, the public, after they, do
Yeah,
the
they have to
actual-
label if
they
there's
can-
nothing.
yeah, they go and they're like,
I would almost
I don't like
suggest not, like maybe suggesting
anyone
not
can
doing
have
nuts, but
what
you
they
do
like.
cross contamination or something like that. Somebody does have, I mean, either way.
But yeah, I did have a good portion of it.
Yeah, I would
written
probably
out and
say.
everything,
no.
No,
They're nice.
Oh, those ones are good.
I know.
Right. Well, we would just have to separate them. I don't wanna limit anyone.
Yeah,
Or we have to decide if this
well, it's not only that
is the
either,
route
but
we wanna
like,
do. Maybe there's a different way to go about it. Maybe we do,
we could definitely do it on the theme for the hometown hero. We could, I was thinking about whatever we thought of a theme, maybe having one of the prizes towards that as well. You know what I mean? Hometown hero, we could do the blue and white for Millinocket, or we could do the military
for
colors.
Whoopie pies?
Yeah, for
Who's making the whoopie pies? Have you got a group of people that are gonna?
I've
Get
talked
signed
to
up,
a
or-
few of them who are very interested in making the whoopie pies. More of them are interested in being judges. But a lot of the teens have been thinking about. I've been mentioning it to get a good feel and see if it's something people would be interested in. A lot of the teenagers are interested in doing the whoopie pie competition.
A lot of what?
Good.
Teenagers. I've spoken to a few teens that are pretty interested in it, but I'll write things down. I'm gonna talk to a few more people, but I should have it by next.
If you do, you can do it also, feel free to, Jesse just wrote hand notes. And then I happily type them out and I can do that for you as well.
Make them
Um,
legible.
yeah, I can read that. It's not a big deal. And if anyone has any other ideas or suggestions of how we should navigate this, reach out to
Yeah.
Melissa. So we just want one more like just interesting event to bring people down, get them out into the community and
Yeah,
give them an
something
opportunity to like show who they are.
I'm part of the minority up here. I don't like what everybody else does, so.
Dover does. Go online and go to Dover Foxtrot, Maine. They have a big,
We're doing like
big.
a whoopie pie fair.
They have a couple. They have a hot dog one and they have a whoopie pie
That's
I mean,
serious business.
one. They have whoopie pies.
Yeah. No, but ideas and stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
just for some ideas.
Yeah.
They have a lot of-
What I was gonna say is don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
No, no,
I
no,
mean, it's
no.
already being done.
I
so
kind of wanted to
take
make it
on ideas.
just keep it simple too, but I like the idea that a lot of the kids were interested in doing it.
Yeah, maybe you could make it an age, you
An
know.
age
yeah.
like teen bake off.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're
Yeah.
putting yourself in a small box, you could do like a teen bake off or something like that.
But I agree.
I think all of us are open to hearing your ideas and
Yeah.
we're also appreciative that you have volunteered to lead an event. So I have full confidence that you'll come up with a great plan.
And whoopie pies, you can't.
I know, you can't go wrong.
Like you said, keeping it simple is not a bad
Yeah.
thing.
And I love the idea of like a prize being just like, you can say your Millinocket's best. whoopie
Yeah.
pie.
Bragging
That was kind of one of
rights.
the things that, yeah, we were like, this is Millinocket for this year.
We, on the third page, they will.
That was the notes they led. Savita is when they,
Oh,
yeah,
Savita's
it's
thinking
for
about it.
Savita.
they're gonna be. Sorry. Do we have any other 4th of July celebration thoughts, ideas, updates? Okay, moving on. Just bringing up summer movie nights, we need to map out June, July, and August. Let me pull up my calendar for everyone. So we've talked about for June, July, and August, moving the movies outdoors. For movie night, so obviously the movies will start. Sundown. And just looking at the calendar, I think that, it would be easy enough for the committee to host 2 a month. That's my suggestion throughout the summer, and we can do it
Sure.
bi-weekly, 1 family, 1 teen. And obviously when we say teens, anyone's welcome, but like if you're under the age of 13, we expect a parent to be with their child. For the drive-in event. So just looking at the calendar for June, what do we think about maybe June 10th and 24th?
That weekend of the 10th is the recital.
That's a big
That's
weekend.
big.
Yeah,
That's big.
It was a Saturday, something.
Yes.
What do we wanna,
Saturday and, it's gonna be Saturday and Sunday.
So what
but
about the
Sunday-
9th and the 23rd?
Wait,
Those are Friday
the
nights.
Recital's not on a Friday, Saturday?
I don't know if they're
Sunday,
doing
Tuesday?
Friday, Saturday.
Like they usually do.
Maybe it's Friday night, Saturday. Well, what, I think Friday night, she started splitting them up. It's tumbling only.
Okay,
And then I think Saturday, there'll be,
it's a lot for the little ones to sit there that long,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay, Tom?
Yep.
Do we want to do June?
Well, the 18th is Father's Day.
I will not be in town that weekend and seeing as how,
I won't be here the next
yeah,
weekend.
I'm there, I have to be there, so I'm going on vacation. That's why I didn't suggest that weekend. So we're looking at, based off recommendations, the weekend of the 2nd, 9th, or 23rd. I just need the committee to pick 2 dates.
I know graduation's on the 4th. So that's
So when is baccalaureate?
I was gonna say June. Like, I'm,
Yeah, it's usually not on a Friday, I don't think, is it?
They do Friday, something.
What is it?
baccalaureate. I was thinking it was a Thursday.
Well, they
but-
used to do them all on Thursdays. I don't know if they still do it.
Yeah, I don't even know.
How about June 23rd and 30th? That puts us at the end of the movie,
Let's
then
do
we're
that.
after
Yeah.
recital.
Schools and
School.
everything.
School's out.
In the next week.
Well, actually, we can add the 30th into our
Into our
list.
4th of July.
4th of July.
Yeah.
That's right.
So for the June 30th, let's consider and come back at the next meeting, a Americana film or like a patriotic
Do you
film.
want to?
Independence Day.
Family night?
Independence Day.
Day.
We'll see based off the recommendations that everyone wants to bring to the table. Patriotic. And then the 23rd. Do we want to pick a movie for the 23rd now, or do we want to decide? Once we have the dates, we can all kind of look at our calendars and then go off that. Members of the committee, I have sent you all the upcoming movies from Swank that we will have rights to once they release. So if we all want to peek at that as well, and based off these dates, then decide. Does that sound like a better option for everyone? So then July and August. Looking at July. Does anyone have any suggestions based off that date? I could do the 7th, the 14th for me personally, but the last 2 weekends of that month, I would just need someone else to lean in.
I like
The 7th, okay, and then we just would need one more date.
and I mean, school's not in session either.
I'd
so-
be good with midweek if someone wanted to
Yeah.
pick midweek.
I was gonna say, we don't, I mean, families, I think, might be going out of town too, so I know that for all of us, we're doing.
Fridays.
What about the 19th of July? That's a Wednesday. We could do a family midweek. The 7th, we'll do a teen one. Well, teen, family, there mostly, at least we labeled two for you. Okay. And now I'm okay during the week if we want to tack them on. I have no problem.
I was
I
gonna
was thinking
say during
showing
the
up for
week
movie
is
night.
some, I think
Yeah.
in August, if we did them during the week, it would make more
Better.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But we
Yeah.
also have to be careful with August. I mean, do we wanna wait and figure out where live and work in Maine is gonna hit? And kind of maybe tack the
back.
family movie night on beforehand, so we can showcase that, or do we want to?
That's a great idea. Because
Yeah. If we do a drive-in
we
after
can do
that,
the driving. Then,
yeah,
Okay. Drive
Yeah.
in. After. So we want to wait for August schedule.
wait,
Yeah.
That sounds great to me, guys. Thank you guys so much. So what if, the only thing I'll ask of you for these movie nights is if we can just look over all of us, though, the movies that are being released. I know we all like to stay up to date with newer movies. Look at those release dates and the rights, and we can make recommendations based off that. We have 2 more movie nights for this month. Just so everyone, yes, we do. Did you already
Yes, we
forget?
did.
She's
No.
looking at me like I'm crazy. We just had our first of the month of May on Saturday. That was Brave. We had 12 children arrive and 2 adults. I was counting us. John showed up too to help clean
I
up.
was
Big
not
thank you to
counting
Mr.
it.
John Cody. So that, I mean, again, we've always said that we
That
will
one was
continue
packed.
to do so as long as at least one child shows up. After that, let me look at my calendar. We have Back to the Future coming up.
Which is already extremely popular in a lot of the dads.
Oh, cool.
That's the 27th.
That's the 20th.
The
Yeah,
20th, and then the
yeah.
27th is Lyle Crocodile.
Yeah.
So continuing and pushing on with those movie nights, and we will just keep them going and keep offering these for members of the community. Do we have any other thoughts on summer movie nights?
Yeah, the pool opens on the June 24th. So they usually do a night swim. That's over by 7, I believe. So if you want to continue at like 6 or want to push.
June 24th? But we
Are you gonna
decided
be
June
outside or-
23rd.
We're gonna be outside at
You're gonna
that.
be 9 o'clock at
Then
night.
it's gonna be
before you
late
do it anyway.
because it'll be too late.
For what? I'm confused.
Do an outside movie.
We do outside movies. that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Right.
I
it'll be
would-
like a- It's gonna be.
Yeah, the movies will be
a
Yeah,
late.
no, my time frame was all messed up, so.
Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, I missed it. That went well over my head. It's a Monday, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, now that we've got the dates, we can check and see what the sunset. those
Yes.
nights are, but it's still gonna be 9
Mhm.
o'clock.
These will be
Love it.
later movie nights.
And I think maybe we should keep it in mind too, like if we notice that like maybe the 23rd, it gets later, like it gets
Mhm.
darker earlier, we plan that for the family movie night. So that
Yeah.
way it's more
Yeah.
accessible
Yeah.
for families with little kids.
And now that we have these dates also, at least for June and July, this is huge for Unified Performing Arts because they need to get volunteers and they can't get volunteers last minute. So this gives them at least a good schedule to start getting their volunteers for concession.
So thinking of the family nights, is it possible to do the family ones in the gym? Because June and July, like you said, it's gonna be 9 o'clock before it's dark. If I've thrown a wrench into it, just ignore me, but
Well,
I just was
so
thinking.
here's the problem. We've had a drive-in theater. That has been one of the most requested activities
Mhm.
from members of the public for years. That's why we purchased this license, was to do the drive-ins. And you're right, it is late. But if we receive that feedback from community members, then we can make that change. But I think we've started this mission to provide something that has been asked for.
All right, that makes sense.
When I was a kid, we had to take a nap if we went to the.
Yeah.
That's pretty true, yeah. When I was a kid, we definitely stayed up late to go to the drive-in, so.
Now you had, one was the 7th of July,
We do have the 7th of
Yep.
July. right
that's a
now.
Friday night, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know if there's any conflict or whatnot, but Summerfest is going on that weekend.
Yes, well, we're offering this, that'll be a teen night,
Yeah.
we wrote
Yeah,
down.
no, I'm just.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
That's a good
mentioning.
point to bring up to consider, but if we're being perfectly honest, a lot of the teens we see wouldn't have access, they don't have anyone to bring
Yeah.
them to Summerfest.
Yeah.
A lot of
No,
our teens,
I just meant.
Thank you.
yeah. Any other thoughts on movie nights? Okay, and then I just wanted to touch base on summer activities and the summer music series. We just, so we keep it in the forefront of our mind. We have in August, the music from the porch, right? Front
Music on the porch.
porch. Music
uh,
on the porch.
Yeah, and I haven't yet decided, because I'm trying to find out when the National Monument celebration, if they're gonna have something on that Saturday, if they're going to, I don't want to conflict with that, because I usually go to it.
Yeah,
Right.
And so then I put it on Sunday, but I've gone on Facebook and stuff and the website, and I haven't been able to see it when or if they're having a celebration. This is like the 7th year, so maybe they're not. I don't know.
okay.
But so I haven't zeroed in on the date on that, but it would be the one or the other.
Okay, awesome. Any other summer activities you guys want to see happening in Millinocket? Things you know of happening, projects that we need to lean in on. I know that the library does a summer celebration. Do you guys have a date selected for that yet?
Do, it is that, I think it's August 19th, it's a Friday. Let's see here. It'll be just the afternoon. Usually we do it like noon to 2, noon to 4, depending on what we have planned. And we also have the summer kickoff. That's June 23rd, which I think is the right date. It's a Friday. Yes, June 23rd. Also in the afternoon, and both those are centered around the summer reading program. And so we're trying to kind of have keep to the theme of the summer, which is all together now. We have some other things coming up throughout the summer with one-off programs for kids. But we're still in the process of that all together. It's something that we'll be pinning down in the next couple of weeks, at least at the start of it.
Okay.
So
The only reason I ask is definitely just to give us enough time to vote and decide anyways if you would want us to lean in.
Yeah, that's
Last
good
year
to know.
for like the summer celebration at the end of summer, we weren't able to participate because we were not contacted until a few days before because of our processes.
Yes.
We just can't move so quickly. So I just wanted to bring that to the
Absolutely.
forefront of your mind if you want any support from the town of Millinocket Events Committee. Make sure we get those requests in sooner rather than later. And also just to keep in the forefront of our minds, the PTO, the Millinocket School Department PTO had disbanded this fall. And one of the biggest requests they had asked us, and Tom and I gave them our word, is that we would continue the school supply handout drive that they started.
Yes.
That impacted so many children. We bought enough supplies last year for 300 children, and all of it was given out. Not that day, the library kindly took
yeah.
the rest of the supplies and continued to ensure that kids got it. Anyone received it, really. And it wasn't just for children of Millinocket, that wasn't full. It was for anyone who needed it. And we didn't. Our biggest theme last year was take what you want, take what you need. So that way no one feels some type of way about coming. But really, we need to start thinking about that and planning on how we can add that. That is hosted in the Millinocket Fire Department. Last year, the fire department. Oh, I didn't ask. I went off what Tom said. Sorry, Tom. Okay, sorry. Yes, yes.
I mean, I know how special it was to kids too, to get, because there was like fun, my mom was a part of it too. So there was a lot of fun stuff that they could pick out, and it just made kids feel like they could,
Yeah,
really
we got to do
empowered.
like shopping, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and we got
Yeah, they love
cute
that.
supplies. I mean, and yes,
Any dates for scarf?
we probably, also for those of you who don't know, because we do have some new committee members, Rebecca DeRobis is still on the committee. She's on a leave of absence, so hopefully she will be back in time for that because she ordered the cutest supplies. And I would love to see her be able to keep picking them out in this capacity. Other than that,
The one, and I got something I'd like to talk about.
yeah, of course.
We used to do a end of summer celebration.
Yeah.
I'd like to do an end of summer pool party. I like to have the events committee put on an end of summer pool party, the last day the pool's open. And serve
I love
like
that.
hot dogs or ice cream, or maybe give Downs ice cream truck, or I don't know what. I haven't, it's just been rolling in the back of my head right now.
You know who I can reach out to? Sweet Frog in Bangor
Bangor.
does fundraisers. That could be a
Yes.
fundraising opportunity for us.
I'm sure the.
We would
frogs
definitely
come
want
up as
to-
well.
If the pool closes,
No, I,
Not yet.
usually it's for early August.
I-
I was gonna say, we're gonna wanna call them now, cause I know Sweet Frog is already. booking
Yeah.
out.
I can get the date, last day of the pool, because
I'm just
Goshen
like-
started
I'm like,
working.
You're locking up real fast.
So I'll ask Jody on that one.
I put a request in.
I just.
I love
Yeah,
that, Tom.
Kids, we didn't do it as a pool party when we used to do it. We remember when we used to do it. But
It was great.
I think doing a pool party would be a,
I do too. We got a beautiful
think that's
pool.
fine.
We got a beautiful pool
Yeah.
down there. Might as well use it.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
So let's contact Jody, get the dates.
Yep, I'll call her tomorrow.
Oh, I'll take care of it with Jody and planning. That's not a problem. I talk to her all the time, so
Alright.
you don't have to go out of your way. So Jody dates.
we'll just keep it simple, nothing,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
if
buy
it's
some, if we can buy some party toys from,
Oriental
Oriental
Trading.
Trader.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say even bubbles, I mean, you could get like.
I mean-
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful time of year. I think you can just do a lot of stuff.
Love that. Cool, so we'll add that to our roster. Great idea,
Mhm.
chief. Do we have any other summer activities that we want to see happening in Millinocket? Oh, do we have does anyone have anything they want to bring up that we didn't cover in today's meeting? Nope. Wonderful. I appreciate you all so much for being here. This is a lot of great stuff. As always, I will get the meeting notes out as soon as I can to everyone. And our next meeting is set for May 22nd, right here at 4 p.m.
Get my email.
Yes, I added you to both those.